Yeah, so look,
Are you off?
we're back on already. Yeah, so NFL Week 3, we're jumping right into it. This is Pete, this is John, if you're just tuning in.
John.
If you don't like the NFL, skip to the next episode. We got John here playing with Ultimate Warrior figure that you bought me.
I did buy that for you.
I love that figure so
great.
much. But yeah, we're talking NFL. We'll be right back because you already hear that. This is a really bad intro. But, we're just going. We don't know what we're doing. But yeah, so we just sat down to record, and we were going to do an NFL episode, but then we talked movie trailers and Chris updates.
Back-to-back episodes.
Back to back. We like to back it up.
So this will be 99?
This is okay. Technically, this is probably episode 140 something.
Okay.
But this will be NFL Week 3.
Week 3.
But 99 will be a pop culture themed episode. So I'm keeping like Dream Warriors, what I call Dream Warriors, like Prime. Will just be still TV, movie, streaming, comics, and then there's the special episodes, which will be wrestling and NFL.
Nice.
Okay. So, and one of my decisions with wrestling is because I lost. One of the only times I ever lost a recording was the new Hell in the Cell. Oh. That was a solo episode.
You did that one recently, right?
I did recently. You were supposed to come over later that night. Okay. And the recording didn't take, and that was file management on me. I had too much on my computer. And there was a codex error.
Yeah.
I know it as soon. Like I can know it as soon as almost like the nature of how the file opens. Yeah. Of like just kind of like the screens that come up and how like the audio wave looks, and the audio wave was extremely flat, and it was like I'm like
I think you're boring our NFL fans by talking about codexes and flat audio. Let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah. So let's just take it from the top.
Yeah. Okay.
What are your thoughts on 2018 so far on the season?
I mean, the overwhelming theme for me is that it's becoming they're penalizing themselves to death. It's becoming hard to watch.
The Clay Matthews stuff.
It's not just Clay Matthews. It's every game. I mean, I watch Red Zone a lot because I watch the Eagles game, and then as soon as the Eagles game, either before or after,
probably see definitely.
Right, so I see every game, right? Yeah. So, and they always show these key plays, whether it's a score or not. So I'm seeing every roughing the passer penalty, and it's like, it's gotten to the point where you're like, dude, I can't. It's not like it's questionable what's penalty or not. I get it. Like they want to protect the quarterback. It's just becoming an unwatchable product because of that. Yeah. So it's you're stopping the game constantly to call a penalty.
Sounds like the NBA. Sounds like you can't let these guys go at it.
It's tough. It's really tough.
I think it also interrupts not just the viewing experience. It interrupts what could be happening on the field because so much is emotion and momentum.
Sure.
And so, like,
I've seen a lot of drives extended on, like, say, 3rd and long after an incomplete pass with a roughing the passer, and that changes the course of a game.
Yeah.
Right?
So where do you think when it comes to that? Because look, they know how to coach these guys not to get penalties. Yeah. Like meaning that how to tackle, how to hit, not to fall on the quarterback.
Yeah, but it's not. It's
but it's actually the act now. But it seems like now it's actual contact. Like,
see, I don't think you can coach. See, like I don't think the coaching is caught up to the penalties. So like to say the coaching has always been all right. You can't hit a quarterback in the head. Then it's you can't lead with your head into the quarterback. Then it's these guys are coached. Okay, hit him with my head to the side. I can't take more than one step. All those things, and they're doing all that. But now they're getting penalized because they fall on them. Well, dude, I'm a 300-pound guy running at him. I can't like constantly
and I'm off my feet.
I don't have the agility to like spin like and so there's a lot of problems that's gonna catch up.
Yeah, and I thought there was something to where if you were a quarterback and if you kind of got one away before you got tagged, as long as the tag wasn't egregious, you could get tagged. Meaning that, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you rolled out of the pocket, you completed the pass, and you get tagged.
Yeah.
Like, you get drilled into the ground, but it's not there's no malice with it.
Yeah, right.
Meaning that guy's job was to hit you. He was a split second too short, but he still tagged you.
Sure.
And I think there's a camaraderie there between offenses and defenses with with that, and now it's like you're actually dividing. I think you're making players a little bit more angry and agitated on the field, and you're pulling some of the camaraderie out of the sport because it's still look. These guys are competitive,
sure,
but they're also insanely nice and friendly to each other. There's only a few true rivalries, like in all the sports, that there was legit people that hate each other.
And free agency has killed rivalry, like we know. I mean,
yeah,
it's not the same.
It has, and I was about to say, a lot of times when there has been true rivalries, you know, your TO playing for the Cowboys,
sure, right?
Like,
no, right,
and
right,
it's over,
right.
like, you know, within like less than a calendar year.
Like, you know, when you look at these penalties, I mean, where like it's gotten to the point where, you know, the stat they used to show was always, you know, they'd show you sacks, but they'd also show you, you know, pressures, right? Where times where you knock or knock down, right? So like times you'd knock the quarterback down, and that was always a thing because it's not a sack, doesn't count as anything major, but it's an intimidation factor, right?
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a momentum swing because now I'm a defensive lineman. Yeah, I didn't get to you yet, but I'm knocking you down on the ground.
Yeah,
and now that like the quarterback doesn't have that worry in him, right? There's like that, not that stress.
Well, we've seen games where defenses chipped away at the line and hurried the quarterback. The quarterback was off enough, and then there might be one sack in the game, but that sack will come at the critical time because, you know, like there was a urgency on both sides.
Yeah.
And now if it's roughing the passer, it's like what incentive does a quarterback have to be evasive at all?
So I think the league sees it because you know the headlines today everywhere that the league is meeting to discuss all these roughing the passer penalties. And you do see, I will say in the past, you have seen them adjust. Like they'll send out notices, the team saying that like we're not going to call as strict a game.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to.
Well, so like, and what's your insight on that? Is that because it's not a rule change, right? No. Because the rule changes happen in the off season.
Yeah.
Like,
and they get voted on.
And everyone votes,
process,
right. Like it's the whole cabal gets together with the.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of gray area in these rules, right? Like you can say
there's interpretation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
and that's where you have.
So it's almost like a policy.
Right.
shift.
So now you have like, you know, now there's the variable of favorable versus unfavorable referee teams, right? Like you have these teams that go out the games and you're like, great, we're playing a playoff game against, you know, with this guy reffing it, and we know that he calls more roughing the passer penalties than other people. So there's different things that you're going to have to plan for.
In the what was it? The Super Bowl 51. Mm-hmm. That because I only saw this. I wish I saw it more times, but
that was Pats Broncos.
No.
Oh no! It
Pats
was
Falcons.
Pats Falcons.
Yeah, they go into detail about that on how the Patriots scouted penalties by that referee team.
Yeah,
and they scouted the Chris Long hold that sent the Falcons out of field goal range, but the Patriots scouted that penalty and they sent Chris Long around one of the blockers wide.
Yeah,
knowing he was going to get grabbed.
Yeah,
and Chris
and
Long
probably call a penalty.
Chris Long sold it, and they got the 5 yards, and they that essentially helped them win the game.
Sure.
But the thing is though, like when that's what I mean too. Like I think there's a layer of strategy that gets subtracted because referees see things a certain way, like because they're human, but they still have habits.
Yeah.
But if things are chaotic to where there's no logic to how these calls are being driven, like now the teams when they're prepping, they're more in the dark, and it doesn't. And if there is like a dominant team that emerges that have, like a better process of like filtering information and dissecting things,
right? We
don't get that. We don't see it because like people don't realize, and this is one of the reasons why I love football is the good teams are so deep. It's not just what happens on the field, but they're so deep, and you can literally watch games over and over again. And there's so much analysis in football, right. And a lot of it is how decisions find their way onto the field and how they're filtered in the in through practice,
sure.
Like or through like the back office. But I don't know. But I agree because I was watching that Packers Bears game week 1.
Yeah,
and Clay, they had the game.
Yeah,
and they got Clay on.
So Clay Matthews, I think he's been called for roughing the passer all 3 weeks.
Yeah, all 3 weeks.
And in the Clay Matthews this week, that looked like he tombstone the quarterback compared to what you saw in the Roethlisberger Tampa Bay game. Yeah. Which, I mean, and the Clay Matthews hit was nothing. Tombstone. He looked like the Undertaker. Literally tombstoning quarterback.
Undertaker's out of retirement.
Dude, just go on YouTube and type in Steelers Tampa Bay Monday night, like roughing quarterback, and you'll see a montage of, I think there were 4 or 5 calls, and you're like, dude, it's not even close to like anything that you would normally call a penalty for. Wow. It was bad.
Yeah, I don't. But look, it's no. I agree with that. So, for me though, the what I'm being drawn towards, speaking of Tampa Bay, it's Fitzpatrick.
Right.
And look, it's easy. Look, one of the things I wanted to do with this was to have conversations I knew other people were not having about the NFL and pro football. But have we seen, like, outside of real playoff runs, like he's potentially the greatest journeyman that we've seen in the league, right? 8 years, 6 teams, is it?
I think he's more than 8 years. I think he's 13 years now.
Oh, I think
he was drafted in 05, which, let me see, he's 13. I think he's like 35 to 22. I think he was drafted in 05.
So without looking this up, because I like to see where we are without looking things up. He started with the Falcons.
Did he start with the Falcons? I think he was drafted by the Rams. I think.
Okay, well, hold up. We're looking. Well, I was, but either way. I
think he was 05 by the Rams.
So he's Jets, Titans, Falcons, right now with the Bucks, Bills.
So let's look it up here, right? We have drafted by LA in 05. So from LA, he went to Cincinnati, then Buffalo. Then he spent a year in Tennessee, a year in Houston, 2 years with the Jets, and now his second year with Tampa.
So his first year with Houston, awesome.
His only year in Houston, he had a really good year. His rating was 95. He had a very solid year.
And he had a good receiving core. He had good running back.
Yeah.
Good defense. Jets, they were littered with offensive injuries. They only kind of had Brandon Marshall. Decker had his hamstring injuries through New York.
His Buffalo years, he had the most yardage and touchdowns, but his rating was less. But he had 2 seasons where 3 seasons in a row with more than 3,000 yards passing.
That's awesome.
And that was, one of them was 3,800 yards. So he put up some good numbers for a few years.
So you know what I'm waiting for now? I want the Fitzpatrick, the Fitzmagic, McFarlane.
Oh my God.
Uniform box set. I want them. Dude, I want all of them lined up.
Like all 6, right?
All 6.
And I want like the beard, the full beard in this one now. Like I want the whole.
Charge me $75.
All 6 feet.
Okay, all 6. And here's what you do. You pick a different pose from all your other poses you have.
Yeah.
And you try and get him in like a throwing motion.
Yeah, that's
like,
cool.
Like maybe taking the snap, so it's almost like an animatic. Yes, so you can display it like that.
That's cool.
Okay. Please, because here's the.
Call us up, Todd. We got ideas.
we got it, Todd. Because I looked that up. He hasn't had one McFarlane figure. Which is weird because he was so hot.
But he only makes like 6 a year. Like
he does.
Fitzpatrick isn't gonna,
but he was so hot in that Houston season.
Yeah, like that was the 15s. That was 3 years ago, and he was really hot. And the question was like, do they bring him back? Do they draft a quarterback? They end up drafting Sean Watson. And like, look, Sean Watson had a great year last year until he got hurt. Like he was looking really good. Now he's starting off slow this year. He's coming off the injury. Whatever. I don't know if he's gonna be good enough, but I think he is.
It's still Texans football.
Yeah,
the Texans are they're always going to be.
I looked really good picking them to win the division now. Like I'm like really excited about that.
No, that was great. But so part of me, it's not that he is winning or doing well or like almost had to come back this past week. It's that I like seeing the in between guys. I like seeing like the Robert Horace, NBA reference. Yeah, sure. Okay,
big shot Bob.
I still remember that rollout when they were playing the Kings and it rolled right to his feet and he sank it for the Lakers.
Yeah, no.
That's one of my all-time favorite plays.
It's like 0-2.
It rolled right to him and you're like, best. What?
And you just picked it up. He wasn't going to miss.
Drilled it. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Where did Fitzpatrick go to school? Do you know?
Harvard?
He went to Harvard.
Yeah.
Very good.
He's not the only Harvard graduate.
No, he's not the only Harvard graduate, but it's very few and far between.
I was going to say, there's got to be only... the only other Harvard graduate that I love also has a football background, and his name is Chris Nowinski.
Yeah, Chris.
from Headcase.
Oh, you were going to say Ben Shapiro.
Oh, Ben Shapiro.
I don't think it's football background.
My wife is a doctor. Have I told you? My wife is a doctor.
And I would know because my wife is a doctor.
my wife, the doctor, told me this.
Oh.
Let me tell you about watches.
Yeah.
They're called Movement.
Oh,
Movement watches. I can't even like make fun of his promos.
Yeah.
And make them as because they're only good if I'm as good as he with the promo.
You make him sound better than he
I
does
do
in the
make
promo.
him sound, but dude, and I love it too because he just did like a Glenn Beck, and even Glenn Beck's in awe of how he just like cuts the conversation, does a promo, and jumps back, and Glenn Beck is like Glenn Beck who will sell his liver to anyone on the street.
You're right, dude,
like Glenn Beck's the biggest like huckster there is.
You're right.
Okay, and he's like, what is happening here?
Dude, when I listen to a Shapiro podcast, that's why I listen to Clavin because he doesn't do the he just doesn't cut to a promo mid sentence, and I'm like, Ben, what are you doing?
Yeah, but Ben's so freaking artful because he actually stacks it between his points.
No, he does, and
you're almost like he'll have a thought, and you're like,
you have to hear,
and you're like,
I know.
Yeah, and then he's like, mattresses.
Dude, the mattress is the best.
He's like, I find myself having better mornings when I sleep very well, and then for a mattress because sometimes your wife, who's a doctor, will come home late, and you don't want her shaking the bed.
So Ben reminds me of my nephew Quinn when he does. So when I play Fortnite with Quinn online, right? So Quinn, for most people know, but for a big component of Fortnite is dancing, right? And Quinn's 6, and he loves to dance. That's what he does on Fortnite, right? It's his thing. So we'll be in the middle of a firefight. And I'll say, Quinn, all right, we have to go over here to go fight these guys, and he'll be like, okay, John, but first we dance. Like in the middle of a sentence, and I just look at him, and there he is dancing, like his character. But this is his thing. He's like, but first we dance all the time, and it reminds me of Shapiro, he's like, but first mattresses, and he starts talking about it. I'm like, dude,
it's about and I love Clavin too. Clavin's awesome. Clavin is so witty. With those, with his opening.
Do you listen
monologues.
to Michael Knowles too?
Yeah, I like Knowles. Yeah,
Knowles is good.
Yeah, because I always I think at this point I might be absorbing more than you.
Yeah,
because
you probably are.
Because some of our text conversations, these guys will validate some of my points.
Yeah,
and I'll be and I'm like, on today's show, and I'll put in quotes. I'm like, where have you heard this before?
Well, on my now that I'm in a new role, so now I at work, so I have the ability. I listen to it all day now. A lot of time, so I just started a couple days ago. I could
because you're mostly a desk job,
so now,
right? You're not bouncing around.
So now I'm more stationary. I can
Isn't that the best though?
It's nice that I still have the ability to I go meet with people if I choose to. People have become so lazy with everything wants to be email or whatever, and I'm just like. Dude, I'll walk to your office. I don't need to sit here and get email.
I'm not even. Side note: I'm not even dealing with that. I'm dealing with people addicted to Skype.
Yeah.
And it's not even email, and they don't know how to access the conversation threads because they're backed up in Outlook.
Right.
So they're not even referencing what they're doing or saying.
Yeah.
And you're directing them to reference that, and so it's not even as effective as an email thread where you can just scroll down.
Yeah.
And so Skype has replaced texting, okay? And people think it's different. And it's only different if you know how to use it as a tool. But no, anyway, so
I enjoy that. Yeah. I still get up and still go meet with people because, I don't know.
But I like I'll have long stretches where I'm sitting down and I'll go through podcasts, audiobooks,
sure.
YouTube, and I'll constantly be, people probably think I'm just listening to, death metal music and, Michael Jackson and this and that. And I'm listening to Walter Isaacson's Leonardo da Vinci biography that's 20 hours long. And that's what's running through my ears and stuff like that. But no. Real quick though. So getting back to the NFL.
Yep.
Okay. Did you watch the Eagles Colts game?
I did.
Okay. Because we didn't talk about this. So my takeaway from that, we'll get to yours, was Eagles looked so and so.
Yeah, I thought they looked rusty.
But the Colts, I thought, looked way better. And I don't know if the defense was having a halfway decent game. It was part of what they were getting from the Eagles.
So the Colts looked. I didn't think the Colts looked that good considering. They scored 7 points offensively. They scored 13, but they got 2 short field turnovers where they got 2 field goals out of it.
Yeah,
They got the ball inside the 20 on 2 turnovers.
And they had their chances.
Right,
They had their chances to put that away.
And they got a touchdown. And look, it was a nice drive for a touchdown, but it was it. One drive in the game. I thought the Eagles' offense. I mean, look, Carson Wentz is back, exciting day, but he looked like a guy who's missed 9 months, right? He made some nice plays. He's always
had that good scramble.
Yeah, and that's what he does. But he's rusty. I mean, it's a game speed. It's not easy.
So here and getting to that, so it's funny how they compare Wentz to to Rodgers, because he rolls out,
right,
and it's called the rollout. And now, like, so when you have a rollout quarterback, you're audible on the field that now your offense is responding to is to run with the quarterback. So they might be in routes and he's rolling out.
Their goal is to break it off and run to that side.
So at that point, it's almost like a rollout audible driven offense. But Wentz, to me, doesn't roll out. He scrambles. And like the point I'm getting at, though, because I'm like being into football history is also a part of the show. Who the hell says the word scramble anymore? Right?
It's like,
has it lost? We've lost it in the lexicon.
That's a good point. Like, when did it disappear? If you look to a window in time, so it's kind of weird. Like, it just kind of went away. But where, when? We have to. That's something to think about for a while, because I don't know. You're kind of right, but like nobody traditionally rolls out anymore. Maybe other than maybe Drew Brees. Rodgers does it a little bit, but
Roethlisberger stays in the pocket.
It's typically guys that are smaller size. So you may see Baker Mayfield do it in Cleveland a little bit.
Yeah,
just to give them a throwing lane.
Well, I was going to say maybe the way that the Russell Wilsons and the Drew Breeses.
Yeah, Wilson's a good example.
Became deep snappers so they can see over the linemen. Yeah. Okay, because they had to be that much further back.
Because they're only 6'1".
Right. Yeah. But even at that point, though, so Russell Wilson, they never call they call Cam Newton part running back. So he's compared more to a Steve Young runner.
Right.
Okay. Wilson is more Michael Vick in the way how he because he would run to get first downs. So it wasn't a scramble. He would run to get first downs.
But Vick would. I mean, I don't know. Vick was a pretty explosive runner. I mean, he would run long runs.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
I mean, Russell Wilson is definitely a guy that runs for the first down marker.
Yeah.
I mean, Vick would explode on you for 30 or 50 yards sometimes.
Because he was that fast.
Right. I mean, he just outrun guys.
Straight speed.
I don't think Russell Wilson's outrunning anybody, but he's just he's maneuverable enough that he can get past you for a first down.
Right, but not maneuverable in a way to say scramble. Because I saw some of those plays with Wentz, and Wentz scrambled to stay in what they now call the tackle box.
Right.
What is that?
Well, that's because of the intentional grounding. But so Wentz reminds me, and I'm not comparing him to these guys because they're both Hall of Famers. He moves to me like if Roethlisberger and Rodgers sort of blended, right? So he's got the size and strength of a Roethlisberger, but he moves a little bit like Rodgers, where he's a little more agile on his feet than Roethlisberger is. But that should be a good combination.
See, I thought we would see more Roethlisberger and Vince Young. Of being able to
how about we would have seen more of Vince Young?
I would. The only people who are happy to see more Vince Young is the strip clubs, where there's plenty of footage and pictures of him. Yeah, the youngins love the Vince Young,
the investment club, at the strip club. Yeah,
he's got to be right. Shouldn't his the only thing he's got to say to a girl in a strip club is, "Are you from Tennessee?" And she'll be like,
well, he's a hero in Austin, so if he could he should just live in Texas, right at Austin.
Right, yeah.
And that's it. Never leave town. You'll never pay for dinner or a drink.
But him loving strip clubs and being a tight end is he gets to use one of the greatest pickup lines just naturally, which is, are you from Tennessee? And if the girl's like, huh? He goes, because you're the only 10 I see.
So bad.
I mean, what else do you need to do other than being rich,
because
in shape and good looking?
Because the line "I'm Vince Young" doesn't work. So.
No, I'm Vince Young didn't even work with the local police department. local police force is like, we bet on LSU.
The local police department tried to keep him out of lockup for a weekend. Like, dude, you don't want to go there.
Yeah, but yeah, because like I just envisioned, like even just Vince Young of being able to be less mobile, take hits, and slide it out enough to like.
Yeah, he had that size.
Like but Roethlisberger is definitely like mobile, but not. He's such a weird thing too. But I agree with he's like this amalgam of Roethlisberger and Rodgers. But I do see longevity in Wentz's play. I think they can get another few years out of him, to be a contender.
A lot more than a few. I mean, I think they hope to get 10 and more out of him.
Well, I just mean like he'll be a part of the team until he wants out.
I would hope so.
Right? Yeah.
I mean,
he's as of this level of play.
When you draft a guy second overall, he's what you hope you get, right? You hope you get the franchise guy with all the tools.
Isn't it funny how like just being in the local market of how everyone lost their SHIT when they went for Wentz and all the moves they did to trade for him right, like everyone was an expert, and then you said the one true thing, which is you got to be a pocket to win a Super Bowl, and he's a pocket.
Well, I've said this to my dad for many years. We've had this discussion, in our circle, and I've said, listen, like there is a certain you can argue it all you want, but there's a certain build and look of a championship quarterback. Yes, Drew Brees has won a Super Bowl. Yes, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But like guys that win Super Bowls overwhelmingly have a certain size and build to them, right? And they have a certain arm strength to them. So there's things that you can look at. The biggest thing I knew Wentz had going for him, and everybody thinks I'm nuts, right? But I said, look, the NFL, first of all, they never take a chance on a kid from Division I AA, right? Or whatever it's called now, right? It's like now it's called like
I'm not.
But my point is like the few times they have, they always get it right. So they see a kid who's like has those talents at that level, and they just know like what else? Why else would they take this kid second overall, right?
Yeah.
Because they see every single piece of talent that he has, and you're like, yeah, who cares if he threw the ball for North Dakota, right? Like I know he's what we need.
Right. They have so that would be a way, and this is one of the reasons why actually studying and listening to Chris Collinsworth is so valuable. Is it's not the play, sometimes it's the mechanics, and Chris Collinsworth will give you a crash course, if you watch any game with him, on the throwing mechanics of any quarterback, and he emphasizes it.
Yeah.
Like, and he makes it sound like you can even, I guess, like gauge arm strength in the mechanic. Like even
it has so much to do with it.
Yeah, if they're injured or not, like that's what I mean. Like,
I mean, so it's like I'm a big golf fan, obviously, but like if you were to meet professional golfers, a lot of them are built, smaller than us.
Yeah.
And you'd say, well, how can a guy that's like 5'8", 160 pounds, how can he hit it as far as he does? When there's guys that are 6'2", 240 pounds of muscle that can't hit it that far.
Yeah,
it's all
that's
mechanics,
a great point.
Right? It's all mechanics and like how much motion can you generate?
Quick, I'm going to pick your brain real quick. And I think I'm going to pick your brain. We're going to talk about this, and then we're going to go back to football and wrap it up real quick.
Let's do it.
I got into this huge back and forth with Speedy Mark one night. He was a little inebriated, and
this is a phone call or text message?
In person. We were at the Rap Shack, walking back, and I guess somewhere like I made the point that somehow he was talking about golf.
Rap Shack is also the scene of the infamous concussion discussion.
Oh my God! Yes,
but that's another night.
Dude, he's got so many.
But dude, it's like it all revolves around the Rap
Shack.
But
you know what it is? The Rap Shack is for Mark if Napoleon was caught in a Groundhog Day version of Waterloo.
so accurate. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I somehow make a comment that. Golf is just one of those sports that it's really hard to gauge like who's the best and errors and all these other things because technology plays such a big part in golf. With the putting and
so all right,
what's
like his stance?
Like with the drivers, he says.
I'll tell you now.
Like you golf a lot, so that's where like a little bit of it comes in. But he said like he says he used to play, which I had no clue of until that point.
Yeah. He stopped because there's not enough mirrors on the golf course.
Yeah, I can't flex. Yeah, they don't let me on the course with no shirt.
I'm just kidding, Mark.
Yeah. So his position is the absolute opposite. I said, look, it's really hard because even someone like Tiger Woods got his laser Isaac surgery right when he started winning. Right. So like his eyesight started to go. He got more than 20/20 improved vision. And I'm just talking what Tiger has said. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
But Tiger said I saw better, and it's a game of vision. So
the golf game is weird. Like technology, you can't argue that it's improved. I mean, it's improved tremendously, right? So if you were to go back, say 30 years ago, you know John Daly. Obviously, everybody knows John Daly, golfer or not, right? So John Daly,
the Daly playing it.
So John Daly led the tour in driving accuracy in the early 90s, right? Which he was always known as the big hitter, and he averaged about 290 yards off the tee, which sounds like it's pretty far, right?
Yeah.
In today's day and age, that would put him at 180th on the list,
really?
Right? But so you're like, well, yeah, look at obviously technology's improved, and it has, but they've also combated it with lengthening golf courses tremendously. Right?
Yeah, they've designed courses. It's no different. Yeah, right.
So that's
100% agree.
And what happens is, so you have this balance of new technology and the golf courses are lengthening. And when you look at the scoring averages at all these courses, they really haven't changed over the years. So Jack Nicklaus, one of the greatest golfers ever, who in the 70s was shooting an average of 70 at this golf course, and Tiger Woods and these guys are still shooting on average. Well, in a way,
but two quick things. So I thought it did. What was the most recent? Was it the U.S. Open recently? Maybe a month ago, or
PGA Championship was a month ago, end of August. And
because I remember seeing something for I think it was the PGA Championship that the everyone was at record low, meaning that they were outperforming the course at somewhat of an irregular rate.
So what you see there sometimes is these courses are picked well in advance, right? So if they get that, it rained a lot, right? So when they get to a course like that, these guys will eat it up if it rains, because it's wet. So it's soft for them.
Right.
So for them to hit it into a green, when a green's wet, it's not very fast, and these guys can just destroy it because they can go at the hole. They can be more aggressive on everything.
So a little bit the point I was getting at though, so when that happens, when it's all right, we'll just say statistically, data wise, we know we have to change the course now. Yeah. So and these golf courses are always modifying dips and the hills and the the alignment of where you're driving from versus where the hole is.
So they change tee boxes, they'll lengthen them, they'll shorten them.
Yeah.
But so Marion, which is here in Philadelphia, right outside Philadelphia, it hosted the U.S. Open back in 2013, and it used to be an open venue all the time because it was considered a championship course back in the 60s and 70s. People were like, man, Marion's really tough. By today's day and age, they've sort of run out of ground where they can't extend it very far and stuff. So today's day and age, they're like, man, these guys are going to eat that course up if they go there. Now, they did go there in 2013, and it rained a lot, but that rain, it was so wet, they were able to sort of push things around a little bit to where everybody thought scoring average was going to drop really low, but it didn't. It was still challenging for them. Yeah. So it really depends on how they set the course up in preparation.
Well, I think and I think some of it too is the golfers now, they look like athletes. The Tiger Woods effect. There's no more beer bullies. There's no more. They're what's his name? Roy
McIlroy.
Yeah, Roy McIlroy looks. He just looks like a legit dude.
Yeah, and these guys are they're very open about. They love talking about their fitness workouts. I mean, these guys will play a championship round, and then they'll tell you right in the interview, I'm going to go work out now. Yeah, they love it. That's what they do.
Yeah, and, which is really the Tiger Woods effect.
Right. It is.
100%.
And so getting back to the equipment. So you're talking about where does it get? So they have the ability. They've been experimenting with distance reducing golf balls, right? So they have the ability to say, well, this ball will reduce distance by 20% and 15%. Yeah. And they can
that's awesome.
So the goal is right. So the goal is they think they're gonna make some rules in the future to say, look, it sounds great that you guys are hitting it 360 yards on the tee, which is which is ridiculous, right?
Sammy Sosa,
right? But it's ridiculous, right? But your average golfer can't relate, and it's kind of. You're watching them eat. I mean, these guys are playing holes that should be playing.
That's what she said.
A par 5, right? Which is over 500 yards for most people. These guys are playing it in 4 shots, and they're hitting really low clubs, scoring clubs into it, which should never happen.
Yeah.
Right? Your average person would never be able to do that.
Yeah, so it's a little bit, and yeah, that's a lot of what you're saying was like pretty much my point, where like you can kind of go backwards with golf, meaning if you gave, if you took away the wooden clubs and gave them today's equipment, course or no course or where they're at, they'll do better. You can't bring the wooden clubs into today's era.
Well, they've definitely, the technology, if all things were equal and you said we're going to play the same tees that Jack Nicklaus played in the 70s, the guys with today's equipment would destroy the course.
Yeah, and you know what? That's exactly what I said to him. So he was so drunk he couldn't even like process that. But I wanted to get your take because I thought this would be better than going through text message and then sending Mark screenshots of what you're saying. But exactly what you said is I said that to him repeatedly that night. If all things are equal and you line it up, but
there's no doubt.
But just like a little bit of a skirt here. The weird thing though is that I try to like envision or wrap my head around tennis and technology.
Yeah.
And the courses of tennis haven't changed.
Right.
Okay? Like, because they're in these arenas, they got the same surface.
Sure. The size has not changed.
Right.
Everything's the same.
But you can almost argue that the tennis player has become so much more athletic because they're hitting it harder, faster.
Equipment's changed too.
But the tennis racket isn't that much.
Yeah, but it's a lot lighter. I think the strings are probably
stronger.
I think, But, I mean, just look at the serve power, right? So, I mean, first of all, everybody says the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a baseball. The hardest thing to do in sports is return a serve.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are serving 125 miles an hour, and you have to hit it in this little window, returning it back.
And it's
impossible.
Yeah, and it's like low.
It's
meaning that it's not like you kind of have to move towards it. You have to predict where it's going to go, make a split-second decision.
And it has to land in this designated zone.
Yeah.
Amazing.
No, 100%. Yeah, but it's like, but for me though, it's I mean, like, so I guess the point I'm getting at, it's hard to compare the two because like the technology, I don't view the technology so much as, because I was watching the BMW tournament,
right?
And the putters they were using were literally like one half of an Independence Day mothership,
spaceship, right? Some of them are,
with like big. A handle, and I'm like,
right.
I'm like, that's what blew up New York.
Honest, it's not. The putter is probably the club that's like changed the least. So you'll even see guys that'll pull out 20-year-old putters and still use them.
Yeah.
Because it's really just feel.
The feel,
you see, like, you see these giant heads on some of them. It's all about, like my putter I use is a softer metal, right? I want to feel it like I can, like, I want to feel like I'm almost bending the metal when I hit it.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not, but it feels soft when it hits the center of the club. And I know that feeling.
Yeah.
So if you hit it off a little bit towards the toe or towards the heel, I know that feels like, because it's not as soft.
That's
right?
awesome.
So that's why, people use different metal. And some people would never use a soft putter. They'd be like, oh, it's crazy. I can't use it. I have to use an insert on my putter. And all these other like crazy things. But yeah, you're right though. Some of them are gigantic.
Yeah, I just saw some of them. I'm like, what is it? But that's a little bit of my point where it's to me it's so noticeable in golf. But then the caveat is that it's extremely difficult to compare errors as it is in all sports, unless if you're building like an all-time fantasy team, like an all-time Ryder Cup USA team, and it's imaginary and whatever.
Sure.
Okay, then you can do whatever the hell you want. But when it comes to comparing errors, the caveats run deep. And
it's funny, like if you started an all-time Ryder Cup team, the question is like, would you put Tiger Woods on it? Because Tiger is pretty good at the singles portion of Ryder Cup, which is the last day. Yeah. But he's like mediocre at team play, which is 2/3. Yeah. 2 of the 3 days is team play.
I would take him out. Average. I would take him out and put in Chi Rodriguez.
Chi? You put Chi in, right?
Chi's in. That's my guy.
I don't know. I think Chi-Chi's from Mexico, though, so he doesn't play in the Ryder Cup. He got to be from the U.S. or Europe.
Well, he's got cartel connections.
If
the cartel wants him to play, he'll play.
I have to look it up because I don't want to like say Chi-Chi's from Mexico. But I think he is. Actually.
Don't assume. But I'm still waiting for the golf caddy invite.
Dude, I have to take you there. Like,
I just want to go and hang out and have a good time and like. But you probably don't. I was thinking about this.
Sorry, he's from Puerto Rico. Sorry.
Oh, you racist!
So he could play in the
U.S.
team.
You're so racist.
He could play in the U.S. team. So
it's like I don't think you could put me on a golf course with you because I don't know how you would concentrate.
I mean,
like, how would you really There's no way. Even if we're concentrating, how can you concentrate?
Well, that's like what. So there's been times where I've been playing with my uncle, and there's this buddy of ours that he's a little bit older. He's in his like late 50s, but I've been playing with him like most of my life, and he and I he's a great guy. So occasionally he'll come up and meet us like when we make the turn at the 10th hole, and he'll play like the back with us, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be playing pretty well in the front, and the second this dude shows up, like I'll start struggling because I'm like having a good time now, right?
Yeah.
We're laughing, and my uncle will just be like, every time he shows up, he's like, you lose focus. And
Yes.
I'm like, I do, but I can imagine that for 18 holes if you were there. So.
Oh my god! It'd be so much fun.
I know.
You would be par like 69.
Yeah.
Like, we'll start on Saturday. We'll end Sunday like afternoon.
There you go.
We got we're only
Just like sleep in the locker room.
We're only on
our
5.
Our locker room at the club that I joined this year.
Yeah.
It's a public course, but it's expensive enough to join it that like it's mostly just members that play in the mornings on the weekend.
Yeah.
So. Dude, the locker room it's down in like this basement, but it's a huge locker room.
That's nice.
As soon as you get down the stairs, room to the right, giant TV, Xbox is in there.
Oh my god,
and
let's go,
dude! It's awesome, and then they have like
Oh, speaking of Xbox, we'll end with football.
Okay.
But I wanted to check. We have to go to Dave & Buster's to play Halo Fire Team Raven.
So what do they have set up over there? They have
It's a sit down arcade.
Okay.
Okay. It syncs with your Xbox account.
Is this just Dave & Buster exclusive?
Yeah. Okay. But it's called Fire Team Raven. It's
Okay.
a completely immersive, designed Halo experience. That it's a sit down shooter, and you have your own stats for that sync with your
With our Xbox account.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We have to do it. And we haven't talked about this. How are you doing? Well, we're wrapping it up here. How are we doing on DraftKings? Are you playing?
So I haven't done anything with DraftKings.
You haven't done it?
Nah, I don't know. I just haven't had time with it.
Last 2 weeks.
It's my last semester with school. I'm like,
yeah. Okay.
It's like December. and
Last
I
2
just-
weeks.
I just want to get done.
I'm on the roll.
Okay.
I ain't played this past week because I kind of forgot. But I'm so excited. I had 2 fifth place finishes. Which is like, I know it's the first 2.
Out of how many?
No, Brett had. Because
you guys have.
Brett's,
they're
yeah.
private leagues,
We
right?
were like, one was like 13, and the other one was like I think 12.
Nice. So you're finishing in the top 5. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
but I got so burned the second week because I had I had Decker, and I had AP who went big this past week.
This week
I picked them I picked the 2 of them the wrong week.
But I feel like that's your story of DraftKings. Did you always get it off by a week? You are always on the right guy, but the wrong week.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm happy knowing, because you know what, how I have satisfaction is that knowing that I can maybe recognize what a player is.
Yeah.
Like what type of player, meaning
That's the challenge of it, right?
Yeah.
It's to me, it's like, all right,
And
I want to evaluate those guys against matchups.
Yeah, and it's getting anal. I would have placed higher, but Brett, like who runs the league, he got Garley, and Bortles.
Oh.
And he was in like 10th place, and they were both 4:00 games, and he went from last to like first in like a microsecond.
Yeah, sure.
Because they were both making it rain. But anyway, yeah. So look, we'll wrap it up. 2 episodes tonight. Awesome. Any additional updates on your Super Bowl picks based on anything
not
we've
yet.
seen?
I mean,
no.
I don't know.
Jacksonville.
I'll reevaluate. We'll reevaluate. Like,
I think Jacksonville's going to fall because
I'm not sold on.
Because I think the
Jacksonville's defense is really good, but I'm not sold on.
Yeah,
it.
but I think the Patriots exposed how to play them, even though the Patriots lost.
I'll tell you what I think. I think the Lions exposed how to play the Patriots. I mean, it's like because everybody's like, well, they're going to get Josh Gordon on the field in a week. And what's his name? Edelman's going to come back from suspension. So, I'm like, yeah, but do either of those play defense? Because that's really where they need help. The Lions hadn't had a 100-yard rusher in 4 years. They pounded them.
No pressure. The Patriots can't protect the backfield.
No.
They can't apply pressure.
No.
And I will say this. I will be on record. That's all that's on Belichick. That they really dished away so much. And they I don't know if they were strictly in like a rebuilding
don't know.
phase, but it seems like now for the last maybe 4 seasons, the Patriots are always in.
But that defense looked bad in the Super Bowl. And then they come out this year, and they did nothing to really improve it in the offseason. And that's the thing if you're a Patriots fan. I get it. Like, you guys have been on a high for like 15 years. You're like, cool, we won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But you're not doing anything to get better now to save Brady's last year or two, right? It's not like, let's stack the defense and see what we can do.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. But the point I'm getting at with Jacksonville is that they shut down the run.
Yeah.
And they shut down the run with a nothing defense.
You're talking about the Patriots shut down Jacksonville's run? Yeah, but Fournette didn't play.
Right. Yeah, but
so
okay, right. But at the same time though, they're so like, they have a great line. They're a run heavy team.
No, I mean he definitely is a force, but they did look good against Jacksonville's running game that they had.
Yeah,
but I think it was like Fred Taylor. I'm joking.
But I think playing against Jacksonville is I think it really could be filling in that box, applying pressure, and you're if you have report. I don't know. I saw like weaknesses in their offense in that game.
I am not high on Jacksonville at all.
But I would love to see our journeyman, our boy, our Fitz.
Who do you want to see? You want to see Fitzpatrick carry the Buccaneers?
I just want to see. I would love to see a Buccaneers Super Bowl run.
You, that Rams team is just so good.
They're looking hot. Yeah, and I don't know why it grew on me. But those uniforms.
Oh.
I don't know.
I like it. You like the white Rams, right?
It's off-white. It's weird.
With the blue. You like
it's such a weird combo. I'm digging it, though.
So, before we hang up, update on my suicide pool, right?
So, yes.
We go into this league. We had 60 people in it. And, we all put $20 in. It's $1,200. Winner takes all. So, we get to week 1. I'm riding the Packers. So week 1, of 60 people, 32 of them took the Saints to beat the Falcons, and the Falcons win. So 32 people get knocked out in week 1, right? I think no, not the Falcons. Sorry, Falcons played the Eagles. So the Saints played Tampa. Sorry, so Fitzmagic his first week, right?
Yeah.
So Saints lose to Tampa. So 32 people out of the 60. So there's 28 left after one game. 7 other people were on the Steelers, and they tied the Browns, so they're out because they didn't win. Right. So that's 29 people out of 60, right? So we're down to 30, and then we have one other major upset. So we were down to 22 people week 1. Now I have the Packers. I go to bed. Packers play Monday Night Football against the Bears. I go to bed, and the Packers are losing 20-3, and Rodgers had been carted or walked off, but like he was a mess, right? And I'm just like, dude, I can't believe I got knocked out in week 1. It's horrible.
So my life sucks.
I was like, this is so. How do I even watch football? I don't know anything about it, right? So I wake up at like 5 a.m, and I'm thinking I gotta check my phone, and it's like the miracle comeback of Rodgers. Like came back in the game, busted up leg, whatever. Dude. They win the game, right? Last minute. Yeah. So I'm like, cool. Week 2. Now there's only like 22 of us. Week 2. I go in. I take the Saints because they're playing a Browns team Browns on the road. Take the Saints. And don't the Saints have to win this thing like at the last second?
Yeah.
I'm like, how are we losing this game, right? So anyway, I survived those 2 weeks. So week 3, there was only 10 of us left. And I'm thinking, who am I going to take? I go, I'm taking the Patriots. They're going on the road against a bad Lions team. They lost last week against Jacksonville. I was like, that Patriots team's not going to lose 2 games in a row. Tom Brady's not going to do that. Belichick's not going to lose to Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia can't everybody's putting on 40 points against Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
Dominates Bill Belichick and Patriots.
Yeah.
So I get knocked out. At week 3, and I'm like,
can't believe
how do I lose? I was all over the Rams and the Chiefs games. Yeah, right? And I'm like, I'll just take one of those 2. But I go, no, I'm like, the pick's the Patriots because then I got those 2 teams left.
No one really had. But the thing is, though, I think I'm just going from memory. I don't know if they did this for the broadcast. I don't think they did. But Belichick against his coaching tree. Yeah, but he usually loses against his coaching tree.
I know, but I'm saying, but Matt Patricia's team would look so bad.
They did,
it's not even like I get if you were like if you're Josh McDaniel and you went to Denver and you beat Belichick, I get it.
Yeah,
right? There's talent. That Lions team stinks. They beat the Patriots.
But they actually look good because they were moving the ball. They were kind of moving the ball at will.
Oh yeah, they were moving it at my will.
They were doing it. Yeah, I know. I'm screaming.
Are you kidding me? I thought Barry Sanders was like backwards. Yeah, the way they're running the
football. Barry Sanders and Rodney Peete
like throwing it to Calvin Johnson.
Yeah,
like,
the Megatron.
Yeah,
But I love it. All right, okay. Look, week 3 signing off.
We did it.
Awesome, dude. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, it's fun.
We got stuff to do. Johnny and I, we both have work days tomorrow.
We do.
Because we're 9 to 5ers.
9 to 5ers.
Think about it. And then we're gearing up for Venom.
So we got Venom in
2 weeks.
I think it's even less than that. I think less than 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
maybe
then-
2 weeks from tomorrow, actually.
Oh, I can't wait.
Dude,
We're gonna have a good time.
that'll be
good.
We got to talk about that one because
Yeah.
will Spider-Man appear? Let's see, right?
Where Spider-Man appear, and how many times will Todd McFarlane remind people that
He created it.
Yeah, and it's a co-creation as told on your Wait, is he sole creator of Venom?
I think he co-created.
I thought David Michelini.
I think
John just got the Spider-Man McFarlane Omnibuy.
I did.
And if there's 2 names on that Omnibuy cover.
There are. So, real fast, I think the funny thing, because I know he listens to the show. So, when Todd McFarlane draws, this is my favorite thing, right? Because it's Todd, when you're listening, I told you this 100 times. I love to say it. Like, I was just watching him draw. Who did I send you the video of? Oh, he was just drawing Spider-Man again?
Yeah.
And he's talking about he's talking about the webbing. And, like, as he's drawing the webbing, of course, he messes up. And what does he say every time he messes up? He's like, come on, Todd.
Yeah.
And he, like, dude, it's the best, right? So he's just like, Todd. And he just yells at himself all the time. It's the greatest.
Dude, I love he just did a he just turned Pikachu into Spawn and called it Spawnichu.
I saw it, dude.
I'm just look. He has something, but I don't feel like anything he does adds to the conversation. He's just like a very well-off artist, businessman that is dicking around on social media.
But it's so, if you look at his stuff, because he is so, I guess, it's funny because he sells comics that he signs, like you and I would sell comics on eBay. He just sells them constantly. Like this, here's the dude, like, maybe the most famous comic book creator in the last like 30 years. He literally sells comics on eBay account like he's just a Joe Schmo, right?
Yeah.
But his stuff, his artwork is still the most expensive of any modern day artist, right?
Yeah,
Jim Lee originals, all these guys, nothing compared to Tom McFarlane.
Yeah, I mean, like you could get a subpar Spider-Man or McFarlane cover. Like for example, like he did this one cover for Quasar. That is one of my I'll send you after you leave one of my all-time favorite covers.
Yeah,
that won't outsell like Jim Lee X-Men #1.
Yeah,
but outside of that,
I know
it will outsell. Oh, come in! It will outsell Jim Lee X-Men 2 down. But hey, we just got a visitor. We're signing off. Hey, we're just hanging out now. Signing off, right?
That's it.
We'll talk more McFarlane next time. Cool.